What's up people, Wesley Personal Trainer here. Today I'm gonna give you 5 back exercises that you need to do in the gym to make sure your back is getting a little bigger. Let's go. Number 1 is the bend over row. The bend over row for me is one of my favorite exercises because I can feel it really good. The only thing that you need is a barbell. You need to bend over and you need to start rowing. So let's go. The most important thing in the bend over row is your position. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna be shoulder width, we're gonna have a slightly bent legs, and from here we're gonna bend over. But what is important, that we need to make sure that our hips are not like rounded, but they really need to be open. So my back is gonna be straight. That's really important because if we're gonna have this rounded back, our lower back is in a really stressed position, and that we really don't want. So what we're gonna do, especially under load, if we're gonna have stress in the lower back, it's gonna get hurt. So that's not what we wanna do. We're gonna get the bar. Make sure it's gonna be next to your legs and make sure it doesn't move very much to the front, because the moment we're gonna move to the front, the lower back is gonna be taking over and we don't want that. So from here, we're gonna bend over, we're gonna make sure our back is straight, not rounded. Again, I'm gonna not stress this enough. Here, we're gonna go opening up the hips, and then from here, we're gonna start rowing. What I like to do is just to keep the body, the upper body as still as possible. What I really see people doing is that they're coming up a little bit. Not the worst thing in the world, especially when it's getting heavy, but try to elevate the bar to the belly button and just start rowing. And make sure you're gonna keep that core tight. Make sure that the hips are still open and we're not gonna be like sinking in, even when it's getting hard. And from here you start rowing. Also up needs to be a little bit more explosive, but on the way down you can slow it down with it, stretch it up and go up again. When you're doing a bend over row, it's really important that you're having your elbows tucked into your body to hit that big lat muscle. If you're gonna flare out with your elbows, then your muscles on the upper back will work a little bit more. So depending on where your elbow is compared to your body is making a big difference when you're training back. So when it's close to the body, it will be more the lats. Where you flare it out a little bit more, your mid back and your upper back, your traps will take over. So really important when you train back, depends on what your elbow position is, which part of the back you're training. Keep that in mind. That was number 1. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is the lat pull down. Also one of my favorite exercises to do. I like to do it with an iron bar because I really like the grip. From here, we gotta make sure the pads are aligned with your feet so you can really stay under and you cannot move anywhere. That's really important because you want to be stable when you're performing the exercise. Of course, put a nice weight to it, and then what I like to do, I want to keep it a little bit bent from the bar. I don't know how you call it anyways. We're gonna go down, we're gonna reposition ourselves, so we're gonna make sure we're nice and tight, and then from there, we're gonna make sure we're gonna have one line. So from the hips all the way to the wrist is in one line. My head is under the bar. So then from there, we're gonna move a little bit backwards. And what's really important that we're gonna make sure that the shoulders are dropping. That's the really thing that we need to do. We need to make sure that we're gonna have the shoulders dropped. Shoulder blades are come together. And from that moment, we're gonna start pulling down. And again, we're gonna have the elbows a little bit tucked in. We're gonna have that big latissimus dorsi working. So from here, we're gonna go slowly down. We're gonna be back under the bar. We're gonna have a big stretch. And from here, we're gonna have, again, shoulders down and then come up again. Make sure we're not gonna go out with the elbows. We're gonna stay in so we can really contract that muscle and then make it one nice motion. Boom. Again. Boom. Chest up, that's important. We're gonna have that shoulder blades retracted, chest up, all the time. What I really people see doing, one big mistake, is that they're gonna go down and they're gonna start pulling with their shoulders. The shoulders rounding to the inside. We don't want that. We want to have it outside, open. And from here, again, slow on the way down. What's really important is you gotta get that stretch. You can always choose to have it a little bit less big stretch and keep a little bit more of the tension so you don't lose it. And then from there, we're gonna just pull down a little bit more. Again, one of my favorite exercises to do when I do back. Up to the next one. Number 3 is gonna be the cable row. What I like to do when I'm doing my back exercise is gonna change the angle of the weight. So we need a bend over row, we did a lat pull down, which is from the top, the bend over row is from down, and then we're gonna have a row, and that's from the middle. I like to switch it up a little bit between those three angles, just because I think I want to develop my whole back, and I think that will really beneficial benefit for that. So number 3, the cable row. I'm gonna show you how I like to do it. We're gonna set up a bench. Make sure you're gonna have a good distance from the weight, because we want to have a big motion, and I'm gonna show you right now how that looks. So we're gonna sit all the way to the back, and then from here, we're always gonna be open. We're gonna make sure our chest is up, and we're gonna have our shoulder blades a little bit retracted, and the shoulders gonna be low. If you cannot, because if you feel like you're gonna be always stuck like this, make sure you're gonna just like wiggle a little bit. Make sure you're gonna be loosening up those shoulders, and then from there we're gonna start moving. What we're gonna do, we're gonna all the way, kind of also a little bit, move to the front. We're gonna have a big stretch in our muscles right here, in the back muscle. And from here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna move a little bit up, and then we're gonna start pulling. We're not gonna go all the way up, because if we're gonna go all the way up, this is gonna be also a little bit of the lower back involved, which is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, this is what I like to do, because when I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna like pull to my belly button, let's say, or into my stomach, I can have a really good contraction in that muscle. So we're gonna here, slow on the way down, stretch it out, and from here we're gonna explode a little bit more and get into that position of a contraction, and then slow on the way down. Make sure we're gonna stay there, because we want to have it on all lats. Keep pulling towards your belly button, and from there we're gonna develop that big back. Woo! If it's gonna get heavy, make sure you're gonna get a little bit of the momentum. So that means that we're gonna go from here, and then we're gonna go a little bit more up. So we're gonna get that last reps out. So from here, we're gonna go up and out, up and out. Whoa. So this is a really good one to do. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is gonna be the supported row. I have the bench in the 30-degree angle, and we're gonna focus now a little bit more on the upper and the mid back, because we did now 3 exercises for the bigger muscle, but now we're gonna make sure we're gonna get that smaller muscles also involved, and we're gonna do it like this. So we're gonna have 2 dumbbells, and we're gonna make sure we're gonna have that big, nice stretch going when we start already. And then from here, what we're gonna do first, we're gonna retract that shoulder blades. Yeah, we're gonna make sure we're gonna get the muscles already involved from here, and then we're gonna have our elbows elevated up to the side until we have a 90-degree angle. If you're looking at it from the front. So from here, we're gonna go back down all the way to that stretch position again. Then we're gonna retract our shoulder blades, and we're gonna go up with the elbows. Yes? So the elbows are here. You can also make sure they're gonna be a little bit more in, see what looks and feel good for you. That's really also important. And from here, we're gonna go make a nice motion. So here, retract and make it go up again. So we're gonna have the upper body of that upper back really getting that contraction that it needs. So here, all the way down, stretch, up, boom. And make sure we're gonna have it to the outside. We're not lifting it up close to the body. We're getting away from the body, because the moment we're gonna be away from the body, it starts to get heavy. That's really important to notice. We don't have to go all the way back, because that doesn't feel very comfortable, to be honest, and I cannot contract my muscles very good. So from here, retract, up, make sure you're gonna have that tension, and from there, slow on the way down. Keep the tension as long as possible, and then make sure you're gonna have a very nice motion. There you go, up to number 5. Number 5 is gonna be face pulls. Face pulls are so good also for the back, for the rear delts and the upper back, because they really are targeting very good. And I'm gonna show you how. So from here, we're gonna make sure that our cable is a little bit on the face height. I mean, we're gonna pull to our face, so it needs to be a little bit towards the face. Don't get too much weight, because it's gonna get really heavy. Get a really big cable. If you don't have a big cable, make sure you're gonna get 2. And you can just like make sure you're gonna have it like this. Of course, when it's smaller, it's gonna look like this. So from here, we're gonna stand. We're gonna make our completely body a little bit wide. We're gonna get it open. And then from here, we're gonna make sure we're gonna have our elbows back in one line. And then from here, we're gonna make a Y. We're gonna pull it to the face. And from there, we're gonna go back and we're gonna make it wide again. So from here, boom, and up. Slow on the way down, boom, up. Just think about that whenever you're gonna pull, there's a table here and you cannot move your elbows down because we wanna get those elbows up because as I told you before, the angle of the elbow is important. If it's close to the body, you're gonna hit more like the bigger muscles, and if you go up, it will be more the upper back and the rear delts. Yeah, so keep that in mind when you're training your back. So once more, from here, stand up straight. We're not gonna be all the time here. We're just gonna be rounding a little bit our back. Pull it, make sure that's the first motion, and then make a Y. So we're gonna have that twist in our shoulder. So from here, back and up. And then make it one nice motion, boom. Make sure you're gonna contract a little bit on the back, here, boom. And keep it there, yeah? That's important to have that contraction, boom. And make it long again, boom, and here. Okay, there you have it. 5 back exercises that you need to do to make sure your back is getting a little bigger. These are my exercises that I like to do. This is not one of the best you can do, but I will make sure they're growing when you're gonna do them. So make sure you're gonna be doing them. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, if I forgot an exercise that you really think is really good for the back. And then see you in the next one.